Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has drawn significant attention by adopting immigration policies that starkly contrast his party's traditional stance. Late Thursday night, Albanese celebrated the passage of stringent migration amendment bills that pave the way for mass deportations of non-citizens. Supported by the coalition, the Labor government successfully enacted 30 bills on the final day of Parliament for the year, marking a dramatic policy shift. The new legislation could potentially deport up to 880,000 individuals lacking valid visas. Moreover, asylum seekers who resist deportation may face imprisonment. This represents a remarkable departure for the Prime Minister, who previously aligned with Labor's left faction, long opposed to offshore detention. Less than a decade ago, Albanese publicly criticized denying entry to asylum seekers arriving by boat. However, in an apparent bid to consolidate political power, Albanese has taken a harder line, embracing forced deportations and reintroducing measures such as ankle monitoring for stateless offenders. Human rights organizations have expressed deep concern over these changes. Advocacy groups warn that deported individuals, especially those sent to third countries, could face severe risks, including violence, arbitrary detention, or even death. Josephine Langan, Associate Director at the Human Rights Law Center, highlighted these dangers during a Senate hearing, emphasizing the lack of clarity regarding which countries will accept deported individuals and how they will treat them. The Prime Minister's pivot is widely perceived as a response to political pressures following a High Court ruling last year. That ruling deemed indefinite detention unconstitutional, leading to the release of 246 individuals, including some with criminal records. To address the fallout, Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke announced plans to reinstate ankle monitoring and implement curfews via regulatory measures. These regulations would bypass parliamentary approval, expediting the enforcement of such policies. Labor's hardline stance has faced criticism for echoing the controversial immigration policies of former U.S. President Donald Trump. Some asylum seeker advocates have labeled these changes as Trump-like and incompatible with democratic values. Critics argue that Labor, traditionally seen as lenient on border security, is now adopting extreme measures to outdo its political rivals. Historically, Australia's immigration policies have been contentious. The Howard government introduced offshore detention in 2001, sending asylum seekers to facilities in Nauru and Papua New Guinea's Manus Island. Kevin Rudd's Labor government ended this specific solution in 2008, but the subsequent influx of asylum seekers created political challenges. By 2013, Tony Abbott's Liberal government reinstated stricter policies, effectively halting boat arrivals. Albanese's current approach suggests a return to such measures, including reopening offshore detention facilities and exploring deportation deals with third countries. Labor's latest bill also includes provisions to shield the government from liability for harm to deported individuals. This has alarmed advocates, given the documented fatalities and human rights abuses in offshore detention centers. Critics argue that the legislation risks separating families and exiling vulnerable individuals to nations with inadequate protections. Internationally, similar measures are being adopted. In the United Kingdom, Prime Minister Keir Starmer's Labour government has ramped up deportations, targeting over 14,500 individuals. Agreements with nations such as Bangladesh, India, and Nigeria mirror Australia's approach, underscoring a global trend of escalating anti-immigrant policies amidst economic and social crises. The Albanese government's shift reflects a broader political strategy to address public concerns about immigration and border security. However, it has drawn backlash from progressive groups and urban electorates, further highlighting the polarizing nature of these policies. Thank you for tuning in to Aussie Pulse. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more insightful news updates. Stay informed, and we'll see you in our next video.